we always have this every month. We do a commonly asked question, and the commonly asked question that we're going to dig into today: what's the deal with creatine? Should I be taking it?
I get that honestly, probably weekly, I would say. Um, oh, my trainer said, oh, my friend takes this. Oh, hey, should I be taking it, Laura? And I always kind of start with what are we trying to get out of it,
Mm,
right? And what is that client? Are they an athlete? Are they training for something? Are they a weekend warrior? Are they, just somebody trying to live a healthy lifestyle? So I kind of make my recommendations based on that. But, before we go into a recommendation, what is creatine,
there we go.
right? So creatine is a molecule in our body. We make it. It's part of the PCR energy cycle, which typically happens, if I'm not mistaken, anaerobic conditions. So like a 1 rep max, a sprint finish, a short duration where oxygen's not super readily available. And it can be really helpful for all types of athletes, right? Whether somebody's training at a very high level or somebody that's, going to the gym periodically, we'll say. Um, Most recently, it's gotten a lot more advertisement, we'll say, to say that it has a lot more of cognitive benefits outside of the muscular benefits.
Yeah.
The studies that we've been seeing are more in that sleep deprivation, and it's used in the brain, not just muscle cells, which is really cool finding. And when we look at how it's used in the brain, right? All of a sudden we can see, well, when that brain is in metabolic stress, and adding a creatine supplement can kind of help put a band-aid on it,
Mm.
right? Reduce the amount of stress in that brain so we can function better cognitively. We have a little bit better of a memory. And okay, cool. Well, if we're in a sleep deprived state, great. Adding a big dose of creatine can be really, really helpful. But let's go back to the root cause. Why are we in a sleep deprived state?
Yeah.
So I guess my long story short, my answer is kind of it depends, which is always the
We are
common
always,
one.
it depends
No one
energy.
likes the answer.
Yeah, but that's because we're the nuanced gray and people want things that are black and white. But there's a tendency for acute research to be extrapolated prematurely,
Absolutely.
right? And so this is a perfect example of that, right? You have the most well-researched supplement of all supplements, creatine, which
Hmm.
I like remember I got to tour GNC headquarters when I was in college, and they
Yep.
had a supplement study room. And this was again, this was like 2010 or 11. So computers were not quite as great then. So they still had printable
Way back in
versions
the
of it.
day.
Yeah, way back in the day when I was a boy. They still had a room with all the printed studies. And it was a giant room, but the creatine section,
Oh
like
yeah.
it had so much more research. And so we've known creatine's great for these systems. Like you said, basically our bodies creates ATP from it and regenerates ATP. So extremely valuable. And we've also known that creatine is in the body. I'm so happy that you said that because most people think they're supplementing something like that's new. It's like, no, you're just enhancing the quantity of something you already
You're
have
just supplementing something that we already make.
that we already make. And so more is better. Maybe is there a threshold or tipping point? Probably.
Yeah.
But all this is old information we've known for a very long time. And even the fact that it has an effect on the brain is not like crazy to realize. But the study came out or was, discussed and it went on its podcast tour a couple
Hmm.
months ago. That was 20 grams of creatine.
Which is a lot.
It's a lot.
A
Normal
lot.
dosage is 5 grams for those that aren't familiar with creatine.
Possibly 3 for females.
Yeah, three for females. And you must be drinking about an extra 24 ounces of water if you add that much creatine because of how it affects the body and how it causes water retention in the muscle cells, but it can actually dehydrate you and stress your kidneys if you are not good at your water, potassium, and sodium upkeep.
And that's 24 fluid ounces on top of your recommended
Normal.
daily allowance. Yes.
And so we've got 20 grams, which is a lot of creatine. And what it did, as you said, it helped repair sleep debt in someone that was sleep deprived, which is like awesome. So when I think of like the overworked surgeon, pop some creatine, I like that better than like crashing a monster.
Yes.
But it's also the problem with the acute versus long term is then the people that come into our office think that you're supposed to take 20 grams a day for life as a life hack.
Oh boy.
That's where that's
That,
and
that is true. Yeah, that
that's
happens.
that's all the time, right? And so that's where it becomes this issue where people are like, yeah, so like the question, should I be taking creatine, is like maybe and also probably. But
Mhm.
like if the question is, should I be taking 20 grams of creatine religiously?
No.
Thank you. Yeah, no, like absolutely not. We don't have the long-term data. There's probably a point where that amount gets extremely saturated. There's definitely a hydration concern. Most people don't drink enough water at baseline, let alone with that much creatine.
I would say 85% of clients that walk it, like new clients that walk
Yeah.
into my door, are drinking less than a fourth of what they should be drinking water wise.
I believe you. And I actually love that as a stat. Like that's, you start to realize like,
I'll start collecting data.
please, especially for this, because we're going to do these, and it's fun because one of the things I love about this podcast is everyone listening. There's a lot of clients, there's a lot of colleagues, there's we have a pretty diverse audience these days, but everybody's human, to my knowledge.
I would hope so. Maybe
yeah,
some dogs.
Yeah, probably some dogs. Yes, Remy's not here today. I have dinner plans afterwards,
No.
unfortunately. But
I'm bummed. It's fine.
yeah, I wasn't going to say anything. I didn't want to get you bummed out and then you leave me. But it is to say that everybody needs reminded that like they're not the only person struggling with it. So when you're like, hey, by the way, like thousands of people that come to Case struggle with water intake.
Oh,
People
yeah.
get to go like, oh, so like I'm not alone. It's like, no. And also like we're really good at getting people to like break that bad habit and create the new habit. So it's just kind of a fun, that data, I find that this is our opportunity to scream from the rooftops and like let people know that they're not alone in some of their struggles. So
Absolutely
appreciate that.
not. Yeah.
So for those listeners, one of the things that I'd pull there is the 20-gram creatine that helps with acute sleep deprivation. Super interesting.
Mhm.
And I want to see more research on it. But does that convert to we should long-term be mega dosing creatine? It's like, no. And I love, why are you, if you're acutely sleep deprived because of a late flight and an early work day and not enough PTO, so be it. Like, do what you got to do. But if you think that you need to be taking this because you're perpetually sleep deprived, we need to be looking into why you're perpetually sleep deprived.
I mean, it's putting a Band-Aid on a bullet hole at that point.
Beautifully said. It's never going to replace sleep. Nothing replaces sleep other than sleep. It may be a part of a offset cocktail that helps dilute it.
Sure.
But we're Band-Aid on a bullet hole is perfectly stated. So
One-liners, baby.
yep, exactly. Hey, look at you being more concise than me.
I'm trying.
So anything else you wanted to make sure we talked about on the creatine front? That definitely was definitely my focus. Is we could obviously talk about creatine, but I like, like the water and all that, but I don't know that we need to nerd out there. I think it's just more of like key takeaways at this point.
I would say if you want to nerd out, talk to your dietitian on it. But yeah, I mean, okay, yes, there's some water retention. There can be certain forms that you can take that are less water retentive. At that point, sometimes though, it ends up being you're splitting hairs, right? Most often the answer is, sure, yes, you could benefit from taking some creatine. Do you have to be super regimented and, oh my gosh, I can't miss a day. Oh, right? No. But if you take it five days out of the week, pretty regimented, we're probably going to see some benefits.
Yeah. It will increase your levels of creatine. It's not a perfect science of what's the point at which more levels of creatine doesn't actually enhance your reality. So we don't have, that's where the 5-gram recommendation or the 2-gram for the hydrochloride is rooted in higher dosages were not shown from a muscular perspective to improve muscle recruitment, muscle recovery, stamina, or power. And so like we've kind of honed that in and beat that to death. These dosages are pretty solid.
Yeah.
The new knowledge of those same dosages are solid for cognitive and have potential value for the brain. Yeah, especially in an overstimulated environment, probably not hurting the cause. It gets tricky because some of that data beyond the 20-gram is actually rooted in the observational research that people that take creatine seem to have improved cognition, but people that exercise have a 17% increase in cognition. So is it the creatine or is it that people that exercise are more likely to take creatine?
See, it seems like this could be causation versus correlation.
Yeah, exactly. And so some of the original stuff of like, oh my gosh, it helps the brain. It's like, well, it's a part of a lifestyle that helps the brain. Being more active, paying more attention to your diet, taking supplements. If you take creatine, you're fundamentally more likely to get enough protein and you're fundamentally more likely to eat more fruits and vegetables.
Sleeping better.
You're probably prioritizing your sleep. Like you start to hear where we're like, this might not be direct, but then the direct research was that mega dose sleep deprivation study. Super cool. But once again, we have short-term acute data. We can't extrapolate that and not expect second or third order consequences. And we're here to make sure that doesn't happen to you.
I like it.
Cool. I love it. That's a good one. I'm happy we got to dig into that
Case
one.
closed.